Hello guys and welcome to another Profiletree video. So in today's video we're going to be going through a guide on how to design a website. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Creating a website design involves a series of steps and can be done using various tools. Depending on your skill level and the complexity of the design you want to achieve, here's a full guide on how to create a website design and the tools you can use. Now, the first steps to creating that website design is to define the site's purpose and strategy. So, you mainly want to identify the primary goal and audience for your website. Is it going to be for a business? Or are you going to be using it as a personal blog, online portfolio, or e-commerce? So this is where you have to base your purpose. You need to then consider what action you want visitors to take. Are they going to be making a purchase? Are they subscribing to a newsletter or reading content? Number 2 would be to create a wireframe or mockup. Now this is the early stages of your website. This is where you have a blueprint for the site. It doesn't have to be high fidelity. Even hand-drawn sketches are a good start. Now, there are several different tools to use online as well, so feel free to use a couple of different sitemaps or even go as simple as using Word to create the structure of each of the pages. Now, it's really important as well to lay out where key components are going to go, like your headers, your footers, content areas, and navigation menus. So you need to decide where they'll go. What I primarily like to focus on are the headers and the footers, and then I'll decide what I'll have for each of my sections, and that will all be the different content I will have. And what I normally think about as well is the different control to action buttons I'm going to place on the website or the home page. Where am I going to redirect it to? How many pages am I going to have on this website? So these are all very important factors in order to create that overall design for your website. Number 3, this is where you choose a color scheme as well as your typography. So if you already have a color scheme, you can go ahead and skip this step. Again, if you have your typography as well, feel free to skip this step. But you have to make sure that you select colors that reflect your brand or the mood of the website. Are you going to be using bright colors? Are you going to be using monotone colors? By that, darker colors like black. Are you going to be using brighter colors? So it really just depends on the style you want for your website. Now, the mood of the website, are you going to have it as dark mode? Are you going to be having it as light mode? Are you going to have a little twist to it? Is it going to be funky looking? So there is quite a lot of factors to choose in terms of the design. This is where you really have to focus on that color scheme as well as the typography. Now, if you do need help, there are several different tools you can use, like Chrome extensions. Now, the one I particularly use for Chrome extensions is a tool called Colorzilla. Colorzilla helps choose out those different hex codes that you might like and can't identify the color. So it's a pretty handy tool to have, especially on the Chrome extension. It's completely free as well. Now, you can't always use tools like Adobe Color, and that can help you find complementary palettes as well. So if you are going to choose to create a website from scratch, then it is best to use tools like Adobe Color. If you're not, there are website builders that already offer a color palette as well and show you which of the colors tie in well to build that overall website. I'll demonstrate that later on in the video. Now, when it comes to the typography, you need to choose fonts that are readable and match your site's style. So consider using Google Fonts for a wide range of options, or if you like what you see in website builders, then feel free to use them. You do have the option as well to upload your own fonts if you choose to. Now, the next step really is to design the visual elements. So that's when you need to think about creating or sourcing high quality images and graphics. You do have the option to use tools like Canva or Adobe Photoshop, as these can be used for creating custom graphics if you are stuck with getting those visual elements. But I would recommend to always get your own content, as this will make up your entire website design. Another thing to think about as well is to ensure that your visuals are cohesive and align with your brand identity. So that is a very important factor when you are designing the visual elements. Now, number 5 would be to make sure that you arrange your content and visual elements based on your wireframe. So this is where you're building that layout. Another thing that you need to think about as well is that you should pay attention to the flow of content. Ensure that it's logical and engaging to the user journey. Now, there isn't much point creating that website without a design in mind. When you're basing off that overall design, if you're going through the actual site, say I'm scrolling down on a home page, you want to make sure everything flows well. If it doesn't, then it just means that that user journey becomes a little bit confusing for the visitor. So your next step as well is to optimize for user experience. So what exactly does this mean? This means that you should make your navigation intuitive, so users should find what they need easily. This means that with any CTA or control to action buttons, you want to make sure that it's nice and bright. It's something that you can easily see. So if it's something like enroll now for the bottom right and it's a scroller, and you can it's a button that you can see, you want to make sure that that is a red color or a bright color. So say if your website's white or black, regardless on it being a dark mode or a light mode version, you want to easily see what you're looking at. I'll demonstrate this later on in the video when we are creating that website. Now, you want to also ensure that the text is readable and that the overall layout isn't cluttered. Now, number 7 is to make it responsive. So this is something that you can actually skip, especially if you are using a CMS platform or if you're building a website from scratch. But if you are going to be making it responsive, you need to ensure that your website should look good and function well on desktops as well as mobile devices. Now, responsive design is a must in today's multi-device world. Last thing to do is to do a review and test. So test the website on different devices and browsers. As well as this, you need to check for any broken links or links that don't work at all. Make sure that there's no loading issues or as well as that usability problems. So now that we have an understanding on how to develop a website design, what tools can you use for website design? So ideally, if you are a beginner, it is best to use a website builder. Now, these are ideal for beginners or those who want a website quickly without much technical hassle. Now, they come with pre-designed templates that can be customized with a drag and drop tool as well. So it does make the whole process very simple and easy to do. Number 2, you can use design software as well. So if you want to just create the website design and maybe just focus on the technical aspect of it later on, then you could use Adobe Photoshop. Now, this is great for creating and editing detailed graphics. You can also use the likes of Figma as well, and these would be more focused towards UX and UI design and prototyping. Now, that is also the same with Adobe XD and Sketch. Now, with the prototyping tools, so just like I've mentioned previously, you do have Figma and InVision. Now, these tools allow you to create interactive prototypes of your website. Now, this can be helpful to visualize the final product and user experience before development. Now, if you are looking to do some coding for your site, then you can go for tools like Visual Studio Code. Now, these tools are excellent for writing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js. There's several different coding platforms on Visual Studio Code, which is great. Now, this is only good if you are comfortable with coding, so please do take a note of that. There are frameworks as well like Bootstrap that can help in developing responsive designs more efficiently. Now, with the other tools that you can use, Canva, I would say, is a good platform. It's user-friendly, it's great for basic graphics, so this could be a plus for you if you are wanting to create that content creation. You can also use color palette generators and typography tools to ensure visual coherence. So now that we have more of a base and understanding on creating a website, we're going to go ahead and jump into the different platforms that you can use to create that overall website design. Now, this is one of the tools that you can use in order to create that website design, and this one's called Figma. So you do have a couple of different templates on how to actually design some website wireframes, and it doesn't just have to look like this. I know this one does look very basic. You can keep it like this if you need to. It's up to you however way you want to design the overall wireframe. It is just there to create an understanding for the web developer on how you as a UI or UX designer want to imagine or create this overall website. So here we have a basic wireframe, have our header, we've got our hero section along with our different sections here, as you can see, on what we can showcase for the website. Now, you do have a couple of different tools just below, and these are all the different tools you can use to create that overall design. Now, if you spend enough time on Figma itself and you dedicate your time into creating that wireframe, this is the overall result in what you can create. So I've went ahead and skipped ahead to one of our concept designs. So this is luxury, leisure, affluence, and this is the overall look of the website or the potential website that we want. Now, you can't go into detail. Unfortunately, I do only have a view-only access and I can't do the edits. However, as a web developer, this helps you see the different areas, and as well as this, like how the overall design is going to be. If you want to know the, let's just say, the font or the type of typography that's being used for a particular area, so let's just say luxury, you can see that the name, we've got the font, which is Sin, we've got weight 700, so font weight 700, sizing 16, and the alignment center, but that's not really important. What we need to look at is, of course, our typography size, weight, and font. So it just gives you an overall idea on how else you want to design this website. And yeah, Figma is pretty good, especially as a wireframe. It does go into detail, as you can see. You can add your own images in. You can add your own sort of layout and design, however way you sort of want to create this website. So, of course, it's not just the website that we've created here. Of course, we have put in some lorem ipsum, just to give an idea on some placeholders there. But overall, it does give you that overall feel on how the website will look. So that is one of the platforms to use when you are designing a website. So there are a couple of different options when it comes to your website design. If you are going to go through the website builder process, there are a couple of different templates just to help guide you to create that overall website design. Or if you're just looking to do your own structure, then you do have the option to build your own template. Now, mind you, this is a website builder called Squarespace. It will be different for any other website builders out there. So if you're using the likes of Wix, there's GoDaddy, Weebly, or Shopify if you're creating an e-commerce platform. Each of these website builders will be different. Now, when you are creating a website through a CMS platform like WordPress, you do have a little bit more freedom, and I would say that it is a little bit faster in terms of the development as well, as there are multiple ways to develop a website through WordPress. but given the non-technical skills, then I would recommend to use Squarespace, Wix, or any of the website builders mentioned. But anyway, if you are stuck or lost when it comes to a website design, these website builders are perfect, more for the fact that it gives you an overall idea on how the website should look. So let's just say that I wanted to go for an online store. If I select an online store, you can see there's a couple of different options here for a website that I could build. So I can go for like a fashion based website, nice, simple, and straight to the point, something that'll work. There's a couple of ones here that do have their own designs as well, as you can see. So it really just depends on how you want to build the website. Either way, if the accomplishment is just to have that online presence, then any platform will do. Now, just sticking to the website builder here, if you do want to create your own website design, then you do have the option to build your own template. So that's what we'll do now. So we'll go ahead and just select let's go. So I'll just try that again. So we'll just say my test site. Go ahead and hit next. And again, as I've mentioned, it will be different for any other website builder that you will use. So we're going to go ahead and add an intro section here. So this is our hero section really. We've got our header already built for us. So this is why it's good to use a website builder. It is quick and straight to the point, and you don't really have to worry about the design of the website. You can just focus on how you're going to do the layout, as the attention to detail will come at a later stage once we've done this. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So a nice blend from the header to the background here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add an about section. So something like this, I think would look nice. Let's just see. So something like that, and then a social section. So social media. Yep, we'll do something like this, and then our form section. We'll do this. So it ties and blends well. And then our footer section, like that. So once you're happy with how the site looks, it even shows you that it recommends to have an intro section and a footer section. Of course, this is very ideal for a website. Now it is saying that a services section is recommended. You don't have to go for this, especially if you are creating a non-e-commerce website or a brochure website. Then there's really no need to put down products, services, appointments, and digital product section. So go ahead and click next. And we just want to go for a one-page website. We're going to go ahead and click next. Now this is what I mean by the color palette. There are ways where you can blend and color code each part. So here we have monochromatic, we've got neutral, bright, and bold. So that's why these website builders are pretty good as well. It gives you an overall idea on what colors match with what. So there's one there, here's another one here, and there's another one there. So there are ways where you can create a nice looking website as well. So also gives you an idea on your control to action. So that's your control to action button. You want to make sure that that is something that you can highlight and see well enough. So I am just going to go for a simple version of monochromatic. I like the black and white look. So I'm just going to go ahead and click next. I always choose the Rock Grotesque when I am using Squarespace. But there are other fonts that are available, like sans serif, you've got serif, you've got mixed, you've got... Okay, so just 3 sections there. So nice fonts to use, and then go ahead and click finish when you are happy enough. I'll go ahead and skip this. Okay, looks like that was fast. So then they'll say your template's ready. You do have the option as well to add some content with Squarespace AI, but I'm going to go ahead and skip this. Each website builder will be different, so just keep a lookout for each one. So you'll get this dashboard. Now, depending on the website builder that you're using, or if you're using a content management system like WordPress, then you will have a dashboard and it'll contain everything that you need. This is pretty much the dashboard. So straight into the editing side of things. When you are doing a website design, it's best to focus on your header as well as your footer, because these are your two main parts that you'll see for each of the pages. So say for this one, since it is a one-page website, you can see that all we have here is my test site, or of course the site title or the logo. What you would normally want to have is, if you are going to create a one-page website, at least have a menu for anchors. So that just basically means if you're going to have buttons, so if I have buttons here, as you can see, let's just see if we can add more elements in. So if you are going to be creating that one-page website, it's best to always have buttons. And I would say that Wix has more freedom in order to create this. I did miss that part where I should have actually went ahead and selected the different pages. But if you are creating a one-page website, you can't anchor these in. So if I say click on about, then that scrolls all the way down to about. So this would be the about section. And if I have a contact button, then that will scroll all the way down to maybe the newsletter. And if I select another one, and then it'll bring me to social. So pretty much that's how that would work. So that's what makes a nice flow for a site. So it is always still best to have those options for a header. Now, with the footer, again, do the same thing. Just make sure everything's linked and connected. And then once you've done that, so header and footer done, next is when you should start focusing on the actual hero section. So hero section is where people will drop into the site. Of course, the first thing that they're going to see is the hero section. So this is where we want to customize and edit this. So that's with the background color. So if we are creating, say, a bakery store, so we'll stick with the bakery store. We'll go ahead and edit this. Now, some of these website builders will have their own images, and you'll see it from when I look through stock images. I'm going to search up bakery. Oh, bakery. And then if I click on this, go ahead and add that image. Takes a minute for it to fully load, but then you can see now that that's added in. Now, bit of an issue with the background, so we can't actually just reduce and have an overlay on this. Color, we want to keep it dark. So that's how the site's looking so far. And of course, have your own details. Have a bit about your a bit about your business or website, and then of course have a little description as well as a control to action. So multiple ways to create that hero section. You don't have to have it blended with the header if you don't want to. Then of course you have your about section, another important part to your website design. Now it does have that user journey. So first you're seeing an introduction to the business, and then a little bit about that business. You can have social media, you can have teams, so you can actually add sections in here. So let's see if we can find one for team. If not, okay, so something like this, like a meet the team. So you can have that put in there, and it just makes it a little bit more of a nice atmosphere to have for the site. So if you really do want to find out more about the business, it is best to always put meet the team. If it doesn't have to be, of course, a bakery one. If it is like a family-owned restaurant or a family-owned business, then yeah, that's no problem at all. You can have meet the team, but if it is at a larger scale, then it's maybe something that you can do or maybe choose to avoid. It is completely up to yourselves on how you want to develop the site, but that's how I would normally have the flow. So at about, I can have a social, or if I want to maybe showcase some of the options for food, then I can do that. So let's just see if we can add something like that in. So they do have a couple of options. So what you can do actually is just, okay, I know it's services, but I can go ahead and add this in, and then maybe like change up each of the food. So if I go ahead and edit this section, I'll edit that content. So the items in this one, this could be like a pastry, bakery food. So something like that. And of course I'll change the title. So for this title, we will have, well actually we should focus on the so we'll have that, and then I'm gonna call it, is it Panda Chocolate? So hopefully that's the right spelling. So that's the alt text. This is important for SEO, so we'll just leave that there, and then we'll change that. And of course, add a little bit of a description. You can use ChatGPT or any form of AI or your own content that you already have to explain that area. And then, of course, the silver, we'll go ahead and change this, replace this with something else. We'll go ahead and type in bakery again. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay. And then okay, again, same scenario, same thing. Let's see if we can replace another one. I think these are macaroons. So macaroon, more of a form of cookie or food of some sort. So we'll just say macaroon, and then we'll go back and change the platinum. Hopefully we can find another bakery item. Let's just have a look. Bakery, and then let's just take a look through here. Should have something. No, this is why it is just best to use your own content, since I don't have to look. Or we'll just pick this one, we'll just say donuts. Donuts. And just like that. So that is how I would normally go about it. So again, hero section, a little bit about what your business does. You can have maybe a products list. Now you can have a business, let's just say a storefront, and if you don't want to have an e-commerce platform online, then you can at least showcase what you sell within a storefront. So this would be a good example of what you can do. So of course we've listed out some of the stuffs that we sell. Again, we can go ahead and copy and paste this section if we need to, and then that means that we can have multiple sections of what we offer. So that would be another way to do that. And then of course have your social media, meet the team, a bit of a newsletter if you want to, and then have the footer. But that is normally what you would do and how you would go about it when you are creating a web design. But there you have it, guys. That is pretty much how you develop a website design. Now, if you are going to go through that process of creating a website from scratch, then that's when you need to use the likes of a wireframe, like Figma, which is a platform to create that on. Or if you want to jump straight into it and figure out a website design for yourself, then the best tool to use would be a website builder. So again, multiple ways in creating a website. So just choose your own path that you feel is right and which is easiest in terms of development. But guys, hopefully you found the video helpful. If you did, let us know in the comment section below. We'd like to know what you think. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.